let me break something down for you. In this world, people will try to steal your time, your energy, your peace, and your purpose. They'll want you to babysit their problems while you're drowning in your own. They'll distract you with drama, guilt, and noise while your dreams sit in the corner collecting dust. Let me ask you something. When's the last time you focused on you? I'm not talking about some fake self-care day where you post quotes and light candles. I'm talking about real, ruthless, disciplined focus. The kind that costs comfort, separates you from the crowd. The kind that makes people say you've changed. And you have. Because the old you gave too much to people who gave nothing back. You've got to build yourself like a machine every day. No one's coming to save you. No one's losing sleep over your goals. That's on you. Focusing on why you isn't selfish. It's essential. Because if you're broken, tired, and unfocused, how the hell are you going to lead? How are you going to build anything that lasts? You're so worried about being available for everyone else that you've made yourself unavailable to your own mission. You've got to learn to say no without explanation. You've got to cut off distractions without apology. You've got to train your mind to focus like a sniper on you are vision, you are purpose, you are grind. You think the great ones cared about who unfollowed them, who doubted them, who talked behind their backs. They were too busy building, sweating, suffering, and rising. This isn't about being liked. This is about being legendary. So from today, make it non-negotiable. You will focus on you, because when you do that, everything changes. Let me tell you something most people are too afraid to say out loud. You don't owe anyone an explanation for chasing your greatness. You're not here to babysit egos, coddle comfort zones, or hold people's hands while they stand still and you're trying to move forward. But the moment you start focusing on your goals, people get uncomfortable. They call you selfish, cold, distant. You know why? Because as growth exposes their stagnation, your discipline shines a light on their laziness. Your grind makes their excuses look weak, and they hate that. So they try to drag you back into the mess you're finally escaping from. You're not selfish for protecting your time. You're not wrong for choosing purpose over parties. You're not evil for saying no when you've always said yes. You're evolving, and evolution demands separation. It demands discomfort. It demands that you stop bleeding for people who wouldn't even hand you a bandage. The truth is, most people love the version of you that gave without boundaries, sacrificed without rest, and stayed small to make others feel big. That version of you was easy to use, easy to manipulate, and easy to forget. That version of you is gone now, and good riddance. Choosing yourself means setting standards so high that lazy minds can't reach them. It means walking alone when necessary. It means you stop answering every call, stop showing up for people who never show up for you. And that's going to offend a lot of folks. Let it. The moment you stop living for approval, you start living in truth. The second you stop apologizing for putting your goals first, you start winning. Don't let the opinions of people who haven't built anything tear down what you're trying to construct with blood, sweat, and consistency. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be legendary, and legends are focused, ruthless, obsessive. They don't waste time proving themselves to people who haven't earned a seat at the table. So when someone says, you've changed them, that's the point. The old version of you settled. This version refuses to shrink. The old version gave a damn about being accepted. This version is too busy grinding to even care. You're not cold. You're committed. You're not distant. You're locked in. You're reborn. But here's what they don't see behind your so-called selfishness is sacrifice. They don't see the lonely nights, the grueling workouts, the mornings, the internal battles. They don't see the discipline it takes to say no to distraction, the pain of walking away from toxic comfort zones, the mental warfare you endure just to stay on track. So stop explaining yourself to people who couldn't handle a single day in your shoes. You're not obligated to justify your journey. You're not required to apologize for doing what it takes to become who you were meant to be. From now on, make this your rule. If it doesn't fuel your growth, it doesn't deserve your energy. That's not selfish. That's survival. That's strength. That's focus. And if choosing yourself offends someone, they were never rooting for you to begin with. Let them go. Keep building. Keep rising. Keep grinding. Because the strongest version of you is waiting. And it's built by the hours nobody sees, the sacrifices nobody understands, and the focus nobody respects until you win. So stop apologizing Start dominating and you wake up, the world throws noise at you. Notifications, headlines, opinions, DMs, gossip, trending topics, and other people's problems. They're all screaming for your attention. And most people, they fall for it. They scroll for hours, jump into meaningless conversations, try to keep up with everyone else's lives while their own is falling apart. And they wonder why they feel lost, why they can't focus, why they never move forward. It's because their minds are clogged with garbage. Their energy is being drained by the noise they allow in. You either cut the noise or get crushed under the weight of it. Distraction is the enemy of progress. Every time you pick up your phone without purpose, every time you entertain drama, every time you let someone else's emergency become your priority, you sacrifice a piece of your future. You dilute your focus. You weaken your edge. Noise kills potential silently. You don't even realize it's happening because it feels normal. It feels harmless. But bit by bit, it turns warriors into spectators. It makes you reactive instead of strategic. It steals the clarity and aggression you need to dominate your day. And it never stops unless you stop it. People think you can multitask their way to success. That's a lie. The greatest transformations don't come from juggling noise. They come from silence, from stillness, from dialing in on the mission without being pulled in 10 different directions. Focus is a weapon. And most of you have left yours rusting in a drawer while you chase likes and approval. You say you want to win, but you're distracted by every shiny object that crosses your screen. If you don't get brutally intentional about what you let into your head, the world will flood it with garbage. You've got to be savage about protecting your mental space. That means cutting out the people who bring chaos. That means turning off your phone when it's time to grind. That means deleting the apps, blocking the noise, and building a fortress around your focus. And don't expect anyone to understand it. They won't. They're addicted to noise, addicted to comfort, addicted to being constantly entertained. But if you want to build something elite, whether it's your body, your business, you've got to step away from the circus and live like a damn machine. You want peace. Create it. You want clarity. Earn it. You want power. Then stop giving your energy to distraction and start directing it towards something that actually matters. That means less talking, more doing. Less reacting, more executing. That means becoming so focused, so locked in, that people start thinking you disappeared. Good. Go silent. Go invisible. Let your results make the noise while you stay in the shadows, building, training, suffering, and rising. Because when the noise stops and the world fades out, that's where your power is born. Let the world chase attention. You chase mastery. Let them scroll. You grant them talk. You act. This is how warriors are forged. In silence, in solitude, in undivided focus. When you cut the noise, you take back control. You start hearing your own voice again. Your instincts sharpen. Your path becomes clear. And that's when the real transformation begins. Not when you're watching others live, but when you finally start living with ruthless intent. You say you want to be elite, but every time you're faced with a choice, pain or pleasure, grind or comfort, you keep choosing weakness. You keep choosing the short-term high over long-term greatness. You hit snooze when you should be up. You eat trash when you should be fueling for war. You scroll when you should be studying. You gossip when you should be sharpening your skills. You indulge in the easy life because discipline is hard. But let me be clear, self-indulgence will never build anything worth remembering. It's a trap. It makes you soft. And soft doesn't survive in this world. Discipline is the edge that separates average from savage. You think showing up once in a while is enough. Try showing up every single day when you're tired, broken, pissed off, hungry, and getting zero validation. That's discipline. That's what it takes to separate from the pack. Nobody wants to suffer anymore. Everybody wants the reward, but no one wants the work. Everybody wants to look the part, but nobody wants to pay the price. You know who wins? The one who suffers in silence while everyone else sleeps. The one who puts in reps when the motivation is gone. The one who trains discipline like it's a religion. Self-discipline means doing what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. Read that again. Your emotions don't matter. Your excuses don't matter. Your cravings, your comfort, your feelings. They mean nothing to the mission. Discipline doesn't care about your mood. It's about showing up. Not for the camera, not for applause, but because the version of you you're chasing demands it. The grind doesn't bend to your feelings. If you want to win, you have to rise above them. You have to rewire your mind to crave the hard path. The uncomfortable path. The lonely, cold, quiet road that no one wants to walk. The world will always give you the option to cheat on your diet, your goals, your grind, your standards. The world will always tempt you with the easier route. It will beg you to quit. It will offer you 1,000 reasons to take the day off, to relax, to reward yourself before you've earned it. And most people fold. Most people become a product of their weakness, but not you. Not if you want this life. Not if you want to become unbreakable. You've got to spit in the face of temptation and choose the harder way every time. Because that's where the growth is. That's where the power is. The problem is people have confused self-care with self-indulgence. They think doing whatever makes them feel good is somehow productive. It's not. It's escapism. You don't need another rest day. You need to get disciplined. You don't need comfort. You need clarity. The moment you start choosing what's right over what's easy, your entire life starts to shift. Discipline is uncomfortable, and that's the point. It burns away weakness, sharpens the mind, it forges resilience. The pain is necessary. It's the cost of becoming something different. Something unstoppable. You want to become elite. Then stop letting your feelings make your decisions. Feelings are liars. Discipline is truth. Wake up early when you don't want to. Show up tired. Work longer. Eat clean when you're craving junk. Go for the run when your legs are screaming. Do the work especially when nobody is watching. Because that's what separates the hunters from the hunted. That's what separates the ones who say they want it from the ones who bleed for it. Stop giving into comfort. Start building your name on discipline. The fastest way to lose yourself is to start living for other people's approval. That's how you become a watered down version of who you're meant to be. You start editing your grind to fit into someone else's comfort zone. You stop speaking truth because you're afraid of how it sounds. You hold back your fire because someone might get uncomfortable. And little by little, you die. Not all at once, but slowly, quietly. You trade your potential for likes. You trade your purpose for applause. But here's the truth. No one claps for you until you win. And by then, you won't care who's watching. You want to be a savage. Then stop caring what they think. Stop living for validation. Stop filtering your ambition to make weak people feel secure. Approval is addictive, but it's poison. It makes you soft. It distracts you. It puts your self-worth in the hands of people who haven't a damn thing with their own lives. You think those critics on social media are building anything? You think the ones who doubt you are losing sleep over your dream? Hell no. They're comfortable. They're spectators. And you're out here hustling for their approval. Chase results. That's not opinions, not applause. Results. Tangible, painful, earned results. You want respect. Earn it in silence. You want recognition. Put your head down and grind until they can't ignore you. Stop explaining yourself. Stop selling your vision to people who don't have the capacity to understand it. Most people won't get it. Let them talk. Let them doubt. While they're watching, while they're judging, you're growing. And by the time they realize it, you've already lapped them 5 times and built something that shuts them up permanently. This mindset isn't popular because it's lonely. It requires you to go through seasons of being misunderstood. It requires you to walk away from comfort, from people pleasing, from playing small just to fit in. Most people can't handle that. They want to be liked more than they want to be great. But you've got to want greatness more than you want to be accepted. You've got to want results more than you want applause, because approval fades, applause dies, but results, they stay, they speak. They validate everything without you saying a word. Think about the real ones, the elite, the disciplined, the savage minds. They didn't get where they are by begging people to like them. They got there by shutting the world out and doing what needed to be done. Even when no one believed, even when the support wasn't there, even when it felt like no one gave a damn, and they didn't stop because they weren't chasing claps. They were chasing mastery. That's what you need. That mindset, that obsession, that willingness to be hated, misunderstood, mocked, as long as you're moving forward. When your focus shifts from needing valuing results, your entire life changes. You stop wasting time trying to prove yourself, and you start improving yourself. You stop arguing with critics, and you start executing like a savage. You stop chasing attention, and you start attracting real respect. That's how winners move. They don't talk about what they're going to do. They show you. They let their discipline do the speaking. They let their results become undeniable. And by then, The same people who once questioned you, they're quiet because results don't need permission. They don't need applause. They just win. Everybody wants to win, but nobody wants to be alone. They want greatness, but they also want constant company. You can't have both. You think you're going to break limits while being surrounded by noise, comfort, and mediocrity. You think you can build something that lasts while being emotionally tethered to everyone's opinions and feelings? No. You want to dominate. You better get real familiar with isolation. You better learn to operate in the dark. Because the most powerful work is done in silence. Away from crowds, away from noise. Isolation is where you meet the real you, no filters. No cheerleaders. Just the truth. And truth hurts. Truth exposes the laziness, the excuses, the lies you've been telling yourself. Most people run from that. They fill their time with distractions so they never have to face their own weakness. But the savage ones, the ones who are obsessed with mastery, they lock themselves away and go to war. They train in silence. They suffer alone. They put in rep after rep while no one is watching, while no one cares, while no one believes. That's where domination is born. You want to know why most people stay average? Because they can't stand being alone with their own thoughts. They need attention. They need comfort. But isolation strips all of that away. It's just you, your demons, and your discipline. And if you're not built for it, it'll crush you. But if you are, if you embrace it, it'll make you a weapon. It'll harden your mind. It'll forge your character. It'll turn you into someone the world can't break because you've already been broken and rebuilt alone. There are seasons of growth where isolation isn't optional. It's necessary. You've got to walk away from the crowd. You've got to train when nobody joins you. You've got to turn down invitations, block out the noise, and disappear. That's when your mind sharpens. That's when your soul gets stronger. You'll feel misunderstood. You'll feel forgotten. But that's the price. And most people aren't willing to pay it. They want to be seen more than they want to be strong. They want support more than they want success. You want real power. Then learn to become your own support system. Let everyone else keep chasing attention. Let them waste time proving their worth on social media, building images instead of building themselves. While they're uploading selfies, you're uploading pain into reps. While they're partying, you're preparing. While they're distracted, you're developing. And they'll laugh at you. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you're obsessed. Let them. Because when you come back out of that isolation, you won't be the same. You'll be built different. Focused. Dangerous too. And no one will be able to deny the results of what you did in silence. Don't fear isolation. Use it. Turn it into a furnace. Let it burn away weakness. Let it reveal who you really are. Stop needing to be around people just to feel okay. Learn how to be with yourself, by yourself, for yourself. The domination you're after. It doesn't happen in front of a crowd. It happens when it's just you grinding through the dark with nothing but pain in your lungs and fire in your gut. That's where legends are made. Most people are walking around like ghosts, empty, distracted, and addicted to everyone else's life but their own. They know what their favorite athlete ate for breakfast. They know what some influencer wore on vacation. They'll spend hours scrolling, clicking, watching, reacting, while their own dreams rot in the basement. That's not entertainment. That's mental slavery. You weren't born to be a spectator. You weren't built to sit on the sidelines cheering for people who bleed less than you. You were born to build your name, your mind, your legacy. But you can't do any of that if you're more obsessed with other people than you are with your own damn life. Let's get something straight. Nobody's coming to push you. Nobody's coming to check on your goals. Nobody's going to remind you that you said you were going to be great. That's right. Obsessed. Not interested. Not kind of motivated. Obsession is what separates those who dream from those who dominate. It means your mind is wired for purpose 24/7. It means every decision, every hour, every move you make is driven by a deep, unshakable hunger to grow. People will call you extreme. Good. Be extreme. Because average is loud, soft, and everywhere. You don't get what you want by casually showing up. You get it by burning with intensity, by studying your weaknesses like a scientist, by auditing your time like a CEO, by killing distractions like a warrior. You've got to know yourself better than the world knows you. What triggers you? What slows you down? What habits destroy your momentum? You should be so locked into your own progress that you don't even have time to compare yourself to anyone. Comparison is the enemy of obsession. You can't worship someone else's journey and walk your own at the same time. Getting obsessed means falling in love with the grind, not the outcome, the process. The ugly, painful, boring reps that no one claps for. You start to crave the early mornings, the silence, the struggle. You wake up thinking about growth and go to bed replaying how you'll get better tomorrow. You don't wait for motivation. You don't wait for support. You don't even wait for the right time. You just go. You train. You execute. Because your obsession doesn't care about excuses. It's built from purpose. And purpose is louder than pain. People are going to notice. They're going to say you've changed. That you're too focused. Too intense. That you don't talk like you used to. And they're right. Because your time is no longer free. Your mind is no longer open to nonsense. You've got a mission. And the mission has no room for casual talk, lazy company, or half-ass habits. You've leveled up. And you don't have to explain it. Let them watch from the stands while you bleed for your vision. You're not here to entertain the crowd. You're here to make history. And here's the truth. Until you become obsessed with your own life, you'll always be stuck reacting to someone else's. You'll be pulled in a million directions, controlled by opinions, distracted by trends. But the moment you turn inward, the moment you make it your job to master your body, your mind, your time, everything changes. Your obsession becomes your anchor. It keeps you grounded when life tries to pull you into chaos. And that's when the world starts to feel your presence, because you finally become dangerous. You've been taught that being strong means being available for everyone. That you're supposed to be the one who picks up every call, solves everyone's problems, and sacrifices your peace to keep others afloat. But let me break it to you. That mindset will destroy you. Because while you're out here trying to carry everyone on your back, no one's noticing that you're sinking. You're running on empty, and they're still asking for more. They don't see your pain. They don't feel your exhaustion. And they won't save you when you break. You've got to wake up and understand this. You can't save anyone if you can't save yourself first. Helping people doesn't mean bleeding for people. There's a line between support and self-sacrifice, and you've crossed it too many times. Every time you skip your own growth to be there for someone who refuses to grow, every time you put your dreams on hold to hold someone else's hand, you're choosing weakness. You want to be a leader. Then lead by example. Show them how it's done. Show them what it means to go all in. That doesn't mean rescuing them. It means becoming so strong, so focused, so disciplined that you become the blueprint for survival. The truth is, some people don't want to be saved. They want to stay stuck. They want company in the pit. Misery loves attention, not improvement. And if you keep jumping into their chaos, you become a prisoner of their mindset. You think it's loyalty, but it's just self-destruction wearing a friendly face. You weren't born to carry the dead weight of people who refuse to fight. You were born to rise. But you can't rise if you're constantly being pulled back into someone else's mess. You've got to choose your oxygen first. Breathe. Build. Then decide who's worth pulling up and who's just dragging you down. There's strength in saying no. There's power in walking away from codependency. There's discipline in choosing your mission over emotional guilt. You don't need to explain yourself to people who never respected your time in the first place. If your focus threatens them, let it. If your elevation offends them, good. That means you're finally doing something right. Your responsibility is not to be a crutch for the unmotivated. Your responsibility is to reach your potential. Period. And if that makes people uncomfortable, then let them sit in that discomfort while you grind in peace. Because here's the truth that most can't swallow. You're more useful to the world when you're unbreakable. When you're strong, clear, and locked in. When your foundation is solid. That's when you can truly help others. Not from a place of desperation, but from power. You want to lift people. Then become something worth lifting them toward. Become the proof. But if you keep draining yourself to rescue everyone else, savior, you're just another casualty of their chaos. So step back. Step up. Reinforce your mind. You are not responsible for everyone's healing. You're responsible for your own evolution. Stop trying to carry people who won't even crawl. Build yourself. Fix yourself. Strengthen yourself. Then maybe you'll have enough left to pull someone out of the fire. but only after you've walked through it yourself and come out forged in steel. Stop chasing validation. Stop handing out your time like it's worthless. Stop bleeding for people who wouldn't even flinch if you went silent. You've got one life, one shot, one name, and no one is going to make it count but you. This world isn't fair. It doesn't reward the distracted. It doesn't give medals for potential. It gives them to the obsessed, the ones who cut the noise and go to war with their weaknesses every damn day. You don't get to rise by luck. You rise by choice. The choice to train when it's raining. The choice to grind when it's lonely. The choice to build when no one claps. That's the truth. That's the price. This is your mission, not your friends, not your parents, not society's, yours. So get selfish with your time. Get brutal with your boundaries. Get locked in with your focus. Because the person you're trying to become, they're counting on you to show up every day. Forget the noise. Forget the judgment. Forget the doubters. They don't matter. What matters is what you do when the world isn't watching. What matters is the discipline you build when no one is cheering. That's where warriors are made. So from this moment forward, make it non-negotiable you see use on YOU. You build YOU, you save YOU. Because if you don't, no one else will.